What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's Dope Laughs, another installment. This is our second installment for this week. Um, this is a Stoner Morning show, Joey. It's a showcase of our funny friends from around the country. We got a lot of people coming on tonight, so I'm going to try to move quickly. But first, we're going to bring up John Bander. Check him out.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, it's me. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks very much. So one of the reasons I do comedy is that when I graduated from Rutgers University, when I was walking to graduation to the ceremony, a guy stopped his car and from across the street, he yelled out, "Hey, yo, my man, keep up the comedy." So I was like, wow. And I vowed, I promised myself at that moment, I would do whatever people yelled at me out of car windows. And that's why I still do comedy and why I still go fuck myself. I've been spending a lot of time, me and my girlfriend have been spending a lot of time together. We actually watched Godzilla versus Kong together, which is kind of great. You know, like I know a lot of guys don't have like girlfriends who will like watch an action movie with them. And honestly, you're missing out because my favorite parts were when she cried because Kong was cold. You know, Kong, the fake ape. And then the best part was definitely when we talked about who's Kong and who's Godzilla in our relationship, which we actually did. So she's Kong because she's proud, and I'm Godzilla because I destroy things needlessly. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Godzilla because I have fat legs. So actually, then she talked about how she was also Godzilla because her like top half is skinnier than her bottom half, and then she cried about how she never had the legs that she wanted. So like, kind of, it was just the best all around. So really recommend like checking that out. Good movie, like, you know. So actually, I've been playing a lot of video games and during the pandemic, and you know, I like to talk about them. And my girlfriend sort of like half listens to me, which is the right thing to do. But so one day, the other day, she asked me like, "Hey, what's that thing your dad said?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "The thing about the shadows." And somehow she got it in her mind that my actual dad had once said to me, "Only cowards strike from the shadows." And I was trying to think about a time when Milton Bander ever would have said that and to me. And the only thing I can think of is like one day when he was at his job at Bob's Discount Furniture, which is where he really worked, he offered somebody, it was a samurai game, by the way, and he offered somebody $800 for a sofa, and then like another salesman came on and was like $750, and then he sat me down after that at the koi pond that that Bob's Discount Furniture actually had next to the free raisinets, which they also actually had, and he said to me, "John." He was from the Bronx, which is, you know, known for its honorable people. He was like, "John, only cowards strike from the shadows." Of course, he never said that, and he never will because he actually died. He's dead. He was killed by a ninja. You know, bullying is like a big topic in conversation. People always talk about bullying and how we need to stop bullying, and I absolutely agree. It's just that the one thing is that you're never going to stop bullying. And here's how I know that. Like, have you ever heard bullying sales pitch? Like, here's bullying sales pitch. Are you ready? Are you 19 kids bored? What if I told you 18 of you could have fun right now? Like, you're never going to beat that. What would ever beat that? Like team sports? You tell a bully to play baseball, he'd be like, why would I ever play defense when you bought me a bat? Like, you already gave me what I need for my part. Like, have you ever tried to talk to a bully, like talk to a bully after they bullied you? Like, I remember when I was a kid and I got bullied, like my bully, by the time they were done with me, like they're already packing up, like the show's over. They're already like trying to get to the next one, and you're like, I'm not fat. And he's like, yeah, whatever, man. He's like, hey, show's over. Hey, that was great. We should do this again sometime because, this works. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm John Banner. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
That's awesome. John, thank you so much. We'll be posting everybody's links to everybody's Instagrams or stuff in the chat. So don't worry about giving you handles or anything. Next up, we got Brooklyn's own Don Slavin. Slavin, sorry.
And I've known you this long, and now you don't even remember how to say my name.
It's okay. Everybody
I see all you guys had hats, so I got my hat, and that's it, because the rest of it I'm really... Anyway, my name's Don Slavin. Hi, how are you? Stoners, okay, I'm going to do my stoner story, and I think by the end of it, you'll realize why it is that I want to do this, and I hope at some point in time, if this like gets posted or whatever you kids do, that some of the people in this thing will see it and respond. All right, here's the story. So years ago, when the immigrants had come over from Europe to America, many of them probably came through Ellis Island hoping to do their chosen profession. Most probably didn't get that. They end up in sweatshops and they ended up doing these really crappy jobs. So you got to be really creative. So you get together with your family and you go, well, what are we going to do? Well, you start looking in the back of the magazines where they have like the classified ads to see if there's anything. And you see like there's camps. So everybody has camps. So then you start looking for a plot of land cheap. Well, I take you to the scene. Hey, Uncle Lee, I'll bet this would be a great thing to do. Let's become farmers. And that's what they do. So they go and they buy a piece of land outside of Eureka, Pennsylvania, okay? And then they start figuring out what to do with it. Well, they find out they're not very good farmers and nothing is growing. So what do? You try and get a train farmer, only nobody wants to do this job. So what are you going to do? Well, I know what you do. You make it a campsite, 24 hours, 365 days of the year, money in the bank. Sure enough, no one's coming to your site. Then you kind of go, well, you know what? We'll do what these other people are doing. We'll make camps, and even though we're not going to make any money and no one's going to come, we can bring all of our relatives. So I actually went to Camp Rose Twig, where when you said, like, remember in camps where you had, like, the uncles and the aunts kind of thing? You called everybody uncle and aunt? Okay. Well, these were real uncles and aunts. I was not part of that family. The other thing was my parents were scared to death to let me go to a camp. So I only went for the first or the second month. And I have to thank them so much because they actually made time for me in the second month. I got a chance to like be in the camp shows and stuff like that they normally would set up in the first month. Plus, all my friends there knew that I was coming in the second month. So I was the messenger. That's right. I could actually get stuff into camp that they couldn't because they had been stuck there for a whole freaking month. So I would bring in things like chocolate syrup. They would ask me for things like, could you bring something that could be put into bug juice? Well, there was one friend of mine, his name was Harvey. Let's call him Cousin Harvey, okay? Cousin Harvey says, hey, could you bring up some dope? Yeah, sure. Sounds like a great idea to me. I'm a junior high kid. Where am I going to find dope? I have no idea. I hear about, well, there's this one dealer in school. You could talk to him, Glenn Roth. Glenn Roth is a dealer? Yeah, talk with him. So I talked to him very quietly, of course, and said, could you get me some dope? He says, sure, no problem. So he gets me a bunch of dope. Okay. And I go up to camp, and guess what, guys? I got busted. Not only did I get busted, but Harvey, the cousin of the actual family, also got busted and thrown out of camp and not invited for the next years. So years later, I'm actually sitting there and I'm on Facebook, right? And I'm finding Glenn Roth. And I say, guess what? I got a funny story to tell you. That, you know, when the dope that you sold me, I ended up selling to all those guys. It screwed me up in that camp and a bunch of other stuff. Isn't that funny? And he goes, Don, I was a junior high student. Where do you think I would be able to find grass? I sold you oregano. So here's the worst part. First of all, I get thrown out of camp. I can't go back to camp anymore. All the people there thought I was probably a narc at the best and a ripoff at the worst. And cousin Harvey now is absolutely discommunicated from the rest of his family. That's my 5. Thank you. True story. Glenn, you hear this?
Woo! On the record. That's right. So next we have up Woody Fu. Tell us a little bit about yourself before you go on, Woody, because I don't know. Nobody knows where you're from.
Hi, I'm Woody. I'm from Westchester County.
Woo!
The original Carvel and the Fatal Attraction murders. So I tell that. Anytime that's like my anecdote anytime I like meet casting directors, because casting directors are always like white women who are 45 years old. Those are relevant to them. Great. I never do stand up, by the way. So this is going to be great because I have never felt less funny in my entire life. So like, I don't remember how to talk to people or how to dress properly. Like I wear one pair of sweatpants every day, and going outside is a big deal. And so I get overdressed, like just to buy cereal. And then when I do go outside, it's like I get to play my new favorite game, which is called Am I About to Get Hate Crimed? It's a fun game. There's basically only 2 rules. This is how you play. 1, is the person walking towards me wearing a mask? That's like the first phase, because if they're not, you already know that they're telling you that they don't care about my health. Number 2, is this maskless person staring at me angrily or have a bunch of face tattoos? If the answer is yes, then I tense up because maybe I'm about to get hate crimed. And the game is great because it goes on for 20 rounds and ends with me buying a box of Crispix. Other ways I don't remember how to be a regular person anymore is, so I live with my girlfriend, and that's like 90% of my social interaction. My girlfriend and I have this rule where we can't fart with the other person in the room. This is a rule that I came up with really early on in our relationship, and I enforce it, and she hates it because all she wants to do is fart in the room with me. This was originally to preserve the mystique of the relationship from my point of view, but now what it has become in quarantine is we just stop whatever we do, we run out the room, and we rip ass while still staring at the other person. This happens like 30 times a day. The other day, like, my friend came over to record a podcast. I needed to fart, and I didn't know what to do. Like, I literally did not remember what you do when you have to fart and another person's in the room. Because my impulse to get up and run to the other room and just fart as loudly as possible. But like, I'm like, it seemed like the right thing to do. I felt like I was relearning how to walk. Let's see what else. I love eating chicken wings, but the problem is if you want to eat wings, you have to be in a place that serves chicken wings, like Hooters. Okay, so, well, Hooters, like, how is Hooters still around? Like, Harvey Weinstein is like he doesn't have a career anymore because of Me Too, but like Hooters is still around. I also think that anytime I go to Hooters, there's always one table of red-faced Japanese businessmen. I don't know why. That's just always there. It's like 100% always true. Going into Hooters is weird. It's like going into a strip club in the 1970s. Like the rules of reality don't apply anymore. Like, first of all, can they legally be open during the day? Like, or can I smoke in there? Or like, do their French fries come with cocaine? Like, what is it? This is a fun fact about Hooters in China. This is true. They're not called Hooters. They're called 美国猫头鹰餐厅. That's literally what they're called. And that translates literally into English as American Owl Cafeteria. That just captures the essence, the subtle play on words that's at the heart of the Hooters brand, I think. So I'm an introvert. I hate being in places that serve wings. Like there's a place in the West Village I used to go to called Wogie's, which is a sports bar, which has like 7 HD screens blasting sports at all times. It's going in there is like eating in a giant electric armpit. They would have half off wing specials on Monday nights, and I would go because wings are expensive and I'm a cheap Chinese man. And I would be like, but they have them on Monday nights because that's when the games are. So I would be like this guy sitting alone, quietly eating wings and reading the New York Times on my phone, which I pay for, surrounded by like a sea of screaming extroverts. And this is the thing with wings. I get super hungry before I eat them, like hungrier than with any other food. So by the time they actually are served, I'm like this ravenous caveman. Like I eat them in a frenzy, and the first 8 are delicious. But on the 9th, something happens. Between the 8th wing and the 9th wing, my body understands it's not going to die from starvation anymore. So like rational mind kicks back on. And I suddenly realized that you're basically eating like tiny dog legs. And so now like just call them dog legs. I'm like, hey, like to my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, you want to like want to go eat some dog legs? Like she hates it. The last thing I'm going to talk about is I think about the ending of Dirty Dancing a lot when they play that song, I Had the Time of My Life, because that song is from 1987. But the movie takes place in 1963. So everyone in that scene is hearing a song that's from 24 years in the future, which would break people's minds apart. Like that movie, it's a conservative town in the Catskills. They don't even like it if you dance dirty, you know? Like at that time, I'm pretty sure you can get arrested for not liking the Beach Boys. So full of white people can handle fucking music from 2 decades in the future. That's like if I went on Spotify and heard a song from the year 2045, I wouldn't understand what was happening. I would throw up and then hurl myself out the nearest window. I would hate crime myself. Yeah, time. Thanks for listening.
Woo! Thank you so much, Woody. Thank you for showing up and hanging out with us. It feels so good to laugh at my friends. It also feels so good to get really stoned. Next up, we have San Francisco in the house. Helena Parker's here, and she's gonna make us laugh.
Hi, I'm Helen. Like Woody, I'm super introverted. Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Like Woody, I'm super introverted. I'm super shy. So when I've told my friends that I've been doing stand-up, they're like, oh, paddleboarding. Like, nice. Yeah, that's like the most socially distant of socially distant activities. That totally makes sense for you. I love doing comedy virtually because I'm super cheap, so I get to save on gas.
Right?
I
Oh my god!
save on tater tots, and I save on a therapy bill for every time I bomb. Bombing in person seems so brutal. Like the only sound in the room is your echoing voice, maybe some chairs scraping the floor, and you might hear one little Whereas virtually, I minimize Zoom and I talk to my Google Doc like how I am now. And if I hear I'm like, ooh, that joke is a keeper. Okay, noted. So doing stand-up in person is my most feared thing ever, next to cancer, which I got last year and I survived. Oh my God. Thank you. I beat cancer. Like, maybe I can finally try stand-up. Yeah, I had breast cancer. I went through surgery and chemo and stuff. And during that time, my friend's love languages became like so crystal clear. Like one friend, he sent me books. His love languages is gift giving. My sister made home cooked dinners. Her love language is acts of service. And another friend sent me a mug that had her personal website printed on it. Her love language is, I'm a narcissist and this is the best I can do. She can be like really insensitive, but also she makes like the most delicious pastries. When narcissists make lemon bread, it's like really good. Control freak in them is great for measuring lemon zest by the kilogram. She feeds me treats and I feed her ego with compliments. So when I got diagnosed, my surgeon told me that she's got to remove my boobs, but if I want fake boobs, we got to plan that now because they could take out my old ones and stick the new ones in at the same surgery. I'm like, oh, cool, like a pit crew replacing a tire. Sounded pretty cool in theory, but I didn't do it because by having no boobs at all, I save so much money. The entire kids section at Target is an option. Boy's shirt is like $7. Dresses are my favorite thing anyhow. Plus, I can now hug a male friend without worrying about giving him a little bit of a boner. After my surgery, I asked my doctor, like, what did you do with my boobs? And she said, well, we slice them up like a loaf of bread and we look at the slices through a microscope. And I'm like, what? That's amazing. And also, can I have them when you're done? So she gave them to me and I had the slices preserved. So now it looks like a couple of 3D puzzles. And I gave this to my husband for his birthday. He loves puzzles and he can play with my boobs again. Plus I'm using reclaimed materials and they can double as a coaster.
What?
And oh my gosh, holy crap. In the same year, my dog had cancer too. He's okay now. But anytime someone comes over now, we ask that you check your boobs and genitals because there's something in our house. And my husband went to get his balls checked out by the doctor because he was feeling really left out. And he said that when he was getting it checked out, like the lights are very low and they're playing soft new age music. And the doctor would squirt lube on a plastic stick and gently rub his balls. He's in the clear. He doesn't have cancer, but just to be sure, he's had checkups to make sure the first checkup is good and follow-ups to the checkups for the checkup. You know what's been going on. Time. Thanks so much.
Helen, thank you so much.
Helen.
I also am afraid of the stage. I do smoke a lot of pot though, and it helps.
Good tip. Thanks.
Next up, we have Christy. She's got something serious to share with us. So we're going to give the floor to Christy, and I'm going to get really stoned while she does it.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Hi, everybody. It's really nice that you came out. My name is Christy. I'm 68 years old, and I really suck at relationships. I tend to like put the guy on a pedestal, and bad thing about it, I mean, it works until like I realize that I have needs too, and then it just the relationships end. And so also I'm really good at adjusting to and staying in unhealthy relationships. So tonight I'm not going to tell you anything funny. I'm going to tell you a story, and this story is it's a folk tale from Iceland. And it gave me a lot of hope. So I hope you'll enjoy it too.
Woo.
And I kind of like, I kind of changed it a little bit, to sort of fit me, and a little bit from the Faroe Islands has another version. So this is my combination version of the story. The story is called The Seal's Skin. The Seal's Skin.
What union will be? Sag.
Okay, I'm hearing somebody else, and thank you. Okay, so anyway, so this, in the southernmost point of Iceland, there's a small village called Myrdal. Now, there's a legend in Myrdal about selkies. Now, selkies are seals that can transform themselves into humans. And the legend goes that every 7 years, on the 7th day, the seals come out of the water and they turn into humans.
Ooh.
Well, there was this farmer, speaking of farmers, who lived in Myrdal, and he was never married. No woman would have him. He was horny. It was the 7th year, and he decided he's going to go check it out and see if it's a true legend or not.
Huh.
So at night, because that's when the selkies would come out, he went down to the sea. And he heard some sounds coming from the mouth of a cave. He heard singing and laughing. And he crept closer. And on the rock near the mouth of the cave lay 7 seal skins. He went up to one of the seal skins and very carefully picked it up. He went back to his house, went up to the attic, and lay the seal skin in an old chest that he had and locked the lock. He put the key in his pants pocket and went back to the sea. When he got there, he lay down on a cliff and watched and listened and waited. And when the night becomes day, one by one, the seals came out of the mouth of the cave. Each one went to its skin, slipped it on, and slid into the water. Every one had one except this young lady. A young, naked human sat on a rock and cried. The man came out of the shadows. And he said to her, oh, you must be very cold. Here, let me put my jacket over your shoulders. And he did. And he said to her, come with me. So what was she going to do? She had no place to go. She couldn't go back home into the sea without her seal skin. So she went with him. Soon after, he married her. She became his wife. Soon after that, they had 7 children. Now, she didn't, the woman never went to the village. She stayed to herself, and she was good to her children. She often took them to the beach, the black sandy beaches, because of the volcanic ash of Iceland. And they would play there, and she would sit on the shore, staring out at the water, staring and longing. So this went on for years. And then Julafton came. Now, Julafton is Christmas Eve. And they used to go to church together every Christmas Eve. But not this time. Not this Julafton. The woman wasn't feeling very well. And so the man said, okay. And he changed out of his ordinary clothes. And he put on his church clothes. And he went to church. He made a big mistake. Because when he changed into his church clothes, he forgot the key to the chest. Well, she was in the room and she's hanging up his jacket, and she feels something in the pocket of his jacket, and she pulls it out, and it's a key. Curious, she went up to the attic and saw the chest there. She fit the key in the lock and turned the key, opened the chest, and there lay her seal skin. She was so incredibly moved and wanted to slip the skin right on right there, but she didn't. She picked it up and held it to her and hugged it. And she went to her children who lay sleeping and kissed them goodbye. She went to the sea, slipped her skin on, and slid into the water. Now, every 7 years, on the 7th day, the Selkies still come back, but not this woman. Often when her children go down to the sea, they'll see a seal once a year swimming around and near them. And she'll toss up shiny pebbles or colorful shells to them. But she never, ever came back to Myrdal or anywhere else on land to become human again. Now, I like this story. I like this story because it gives me hope. And I know that no man can ever own a woman.
Right?
No man can take the freedom out of her soul. And that's my story. Thank you.
Woo!
Oh.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Thank you.
I got 2 things to say about that. John Batter told us about Men in Shadows. So
There you go.
and a big foreshadowing to this story. The other thing is, I'd be your silky seal any day, Christy.
I like that.
Next
The
up,
guys are I'm sorry. The male ones are very handsome, by the way.
next up, you've seen our next performer on Homeland and Billions, and tonight he's going to take us to Haha City. Give it up for 11, my good friend. Woo!
Woo.
I don't know if he's here.
All right.
There he is. Oh,
Homeland and Billions. Those shows are hilarious. Hey, look at that old fat bald guy. He's still alive. I might just make it through this thing. So I'm 46. I realized recently that I'm over halfway dead. He's still alive. I mean, there's no way I'm going to make it to. By the way, there's like a thing in a thing. Is that normal? Never mind. There's no way I'm going to make it to 92. And my dad died when he was 49. So, you know, maybe I'll make it to 50. Beat you, Dad. Beat you at something. Something more important than air hockey. I've never been divorced. And you got to be married before you get divorced.
True.
You can't fail if you don't try. You can't lose something you didn't have in the first place. Hey, you guys want to hear a joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
When we're all older, what union will we be in?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Bag. But you should try and do as much non-union work as you can before you join. Just try to do that. So, before I forget, does anyone have any suggestions or recommendations of like an Asperger's support group? Like I know it'd be online, but like a support group for people with Asperger's or like improv classes. Does anyone know of any good improv classes I recommend? Well, anyway, just put it in the chat if you think of anything. So true story. I went to the doctor today, this very day, the liver doctor, and he said I have a fatty liver. And I asked him, I was like, well, does that mean I can't drink? Can I still drink? He says, oh, you can, if you want to die. Those doctors, they crack me up. They're so funny. You should have them on the show. Hey, you guys know who Fozzie Bear is, right? Everyone's heard of Fozzie Bear? What's Fozzie Bear's catchphrase?
Waka
Waka, waka,
waka.
waka.
Waka, waka, waka. Right, correct. Yes. So we've all heard of Mexico. Mexico, you may not know, is made up of states, just like the US is. And there's a state in Mexico called Oaxaca, which, by the way, is spelled Oaxaca. It's like, what is that even English? So what does Mexican Fozzie Bear say?
Waka waka.
Oh, close. He says, "Where are my children?"
Oh, fuck.
Hey, why do showers have a scald setting?
Why?
That was a rhetorical question, actually. I mean, let's move on. So here's a mom joke for you. What air freshener do they use in the Vatican?
Ooh.
What?
Potpourri. Yeah, my mom wrote that joke, and I used it. So I'm an actor, and I'm usually unemployed, and my mom knows this. So she's been sending me for years care packages, which can be filled, which is great, but sometimes, I mean, they're filled with like jerky sometimes, or like deluxe mixed nuts, but then other times they have emergency blankets in them, like the foil kind, and like ponchos, emergency ponchos, I guess, to go with the blanket, and shoelaces. And my room is filling up with this stuff. So I was going to ask her, I was like, please just stop sending me packages. Then I realized she stopped sending me care packages. There'd be no more packages because no one else would care. So I didn't say anything. And then last holiday, she sent me a package, and there was a note inside, which is rare. There's almost never a note. And it said, hi. Oh, this is backwards too. Hi, hope you enjoy the treats. Love, Mom. I was like, oh, that's nice. Like, what is this? What paper is this on? This is weird. It's on a Target regional hiring flyer. All right, thanks. I've been David Neal Levin. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Woo! Thanks, Hot City.
Thank you so much, David. It's always fun hanging out with you, man. Ayo, next up we have Johnny Salvador. He's gonna talk to us a little bit.
I didn't want to distract you. Say something.
Bring it up, Johnny.
How are we?
What's up? Are you hanging upside down? There you are.
I am.
I'm an amateur Batman enthusiast. Inversion table. Anyone else take a shower tub today?
No.
It's usually it's just called depression, but it's when you lay in the tub as the shower cascades down you. It came to me the other week. I was just, depressed, as they said before I invented this. And then I flicked up the faucet thing, flicked it up, and I was like, wait, now I just invented something. And it, it worked. It was great. Because the biggest thing is with tubs is do you get in and let the water start, or do you let it sit? You have to, go do the dishes, and you're like, then you get in and it's so hot, and you're like, this is uncomfortable, or it's too cold, and I'm just gonna reset this thing and have to reboil myself. Shower tub fixes all that. Heard it here first.
Wow, that's dramatic.
But what's going on, guys? I was checking out some of the prior comedians. Great stuff. I didn't I'd be performing after someone who survived breast cancer. So now I feel pretty bad about myself. But my survived it, so that's good. And true story, she has one boob. They took out one. I call her Humpty Dumpty because the other one's just like, it's like one's up here and then the other one's down there. But tonight I'm going to be telling a few jokes that my Papa Sal, who just passed, would tell every day. And I tried telling them at after the funeral, we went to his house, me and all my crazy Italian family. And yeah, I tried. I was like, I threw it out there. I was like, should I tell one of Sal's jokes? And everyone's like, you couldn't tell it. You couldn't. It's all Italian people. It's just a lot of guttural noises. Smoking lungs and defeated dreams. Just like, guys, I've actually done pretty successful so far. Invented the shop. You'll be seeing me. And they're like, go ahead, bud. Let me see it. And then I'm trying to tell the joke. And my Aunt Sharon is telling everybody about a JFK side plot conspiracy. I'm like, all right, should I even tell it? And then they're like, you stopped. You got to keep going. I'm like, how? She's talking about how Lee Harvey Oswald was actually JFK, but JFK was actually a Chinese man. It's all, I'm like, how am I supposed to top that? I actually, I just started a podcast for her too. So, Horse Sense podcast with Aunt Sharon. Check it out on Spotify. But I'm going to tell a few jokes. I don't have any weed. I feel like I'm kind of out. Oh, I got a CBD cig.
There you go. You don't have to be stoned to enjoy this.
Well, I have Baby Yoda stoned.
There you go.
Got a little CBD cig.
There you go.
Let's go out on the porch and tell these jokes.
Do it.
Yeah.
My
Let's do
friend.
it for Uncle Sal.
Uncle Sal, Papa Sal, Superman Sal, as they called him. That's him right there. I got a little meditation thing. My beautiful sister Taylor made these candles.
Woo!
Let's go. Wait, need that. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
This is pretty sick. This is like a little cover for my windows.
Oh, nice.
Neighbors can't see. Probably hooking up with chicks once in a while. That didn't work. Next one. Nothing hurts like a CBD smoke. Am I telling you, right?
Yeah.
So, let's let some light in so you could see me at least a little bit.
There you go.
Sal was a smoker, but he was way cooler at it. He was pretty cool with it. So this joke is called Beautiful, and I got completely roasted for it at my family cookout.
Woo!
And I told everyone no one's invited when I'm famous.
Yeah.
Even my dad, he got the boot. He didn't stick up for me.
Yeah.
This one's called Beautiful. Damn it, I forgot the... Oh, every one of Sal's jokes, if there's like a little kid, like a boy, he always used Johnny after my dad. That was his firstborn. So we're going to do Johnny and little Johnny and little Betty. They're in school and the teacher asks if they could use the word beautiful twice in a sentence. And she goes, raise your hand if you think you could do it. And little Betty anxiously, I can. Okay, little Betty, try it out. She goes, last night, my mom came out in a red dress. And my dad said, you look beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Teacher goes, oh, that was really nice, Betty. Would anyone else like to try? And little Johnny, hand. I like to. And she goes, okay, honey, you go ahead. Little Johnny goes, last night, my sister came home from her boyfriend's and she told my dad she was pregnant. And he said, beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Sean, I forgot the pepper. Again. Oh, is Sean not here? Is it Jason? Just Jason?
It's Jason.
Oh wow. I did my prep work in a hot tub at the Hampton Inn.
Ooh.
And I forgot and my sisters were there and they were the hot tub hecklers and they said I forgot the pizzazz. But I got one more of his. This is my all-time favorite. It's a little longer, but the punchline is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's called the Italian Classic or Stir the Sauce. So Alice and Sal got married, and in any Italian tradition, I guess, I don't know, they say in this joke that they would go to the mother's house and commensurate the wedding. I think that's completely weird. You should get a fucking hotel room. And they go upstairs. Alice's mother's stirring the sauce, as they say. She's, obviously just a fucking Italian woman, so it's pretty racist, I guess. She just stirs sauce while her daughter is about to make love for the first time. Typical, right? I wonder if my sisters have to do that. But so Alice and Sal are upstairs. And Sal takes his shirt off. And Alice, the hair, the check. She runs downstairs. She tells her mother, you're married now, she said. You can look. I stir the sauce. So Alice returns upstairs. And Sal takes off his pants. And Alice goes, oh my, the thighs, the hair. So she goes downstairs again. Alice's mother, assuming, she goes, you're married. You can look. I stir the sauce. Turns. Sal finally takes his socks off. And he's missing half his foot. So she runs downstairs. Mama, Sal, he's got a foot and a half. Goes, you stir the sauce. I go look. Pretty classic, right? I mean, he had the perfect cadence, and he's just like this like he was the most perfect Italian guy ever, like the meatball nose and all that. So it's I get it. I get why they made fun of me, but
all right.
I had to,
That's it. He's done. He's done. And we're here. But you know what? Johnny, I want to smoke your Uncle Sal out. We're gonna close this show, and I gotta do a couple of promos before we go. But this one's for your Uncle Sal, buddy.
Sally.
So that was it for Dope Laughs. Check out our 420 show. We're doing on April 20th. We're going to be doing that with comedian Kenneth McLaurin. It's 420 high as trivia, and that's only on Slido.com. We'll drop something in the text for that. And also check out our 24-hour stream that's going to be going on the 24th and 25th. It's a very special Earth Day with Stoner Morning Show. And during this stream, we're going to be collecting donations for the Indie Theater Fund. They have a cultural solidarity fund that we're going to be collecting money for. And Sean, do you think you could tell a little bit about that before we go?
Oh, yeah. They give micro grants to artists in need. So that's what they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have just wrote that down. I thought
No,
it'd be more
that's
interesting to put you on the spot.
No.
So I guess that's our show. I'd like to thank all of our friends for coming out. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for making me laugh. I needed it this week, and it worked. Smoke weed, everybody. See you later. That's it.